Hey everybody, and welcome to the start of week 2 here at Rasmussen College, our class on comparative politics. Hope everybody had a great week 1. I finished grading everything this morning. Some comments about the grades early on. In the discussion boards, some people lost the point because we need to have an APA citation at the end of your main post, and I posted it on my video introduction last week and mentioned it again in the live classroom. So on your discussion board postings, please make sure at the end of your main posting you have an APA citation referencing a source that you have used in drafting your main discussion board posting. So let's get that cleared up this week, guys, and make sure everybody gets a 5 this week for their discussion boards. First week papers were very good on the fall of the wall. Everybody hit right on target with the fact that we needed to talk about how the historical overview of the wall, and then number 2, how the wall was a symbol for communism, and how it came down was also a symbolism of the end of communism as a political ideology and economic theory, and showing the impact of globalization and how the world was changing at that point in time. So great work on the papers this week, guys. Entering week 2 this week, some things to point out on our live classrooms. We're going to hold those on Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. That'll be 9 to 10 p.m. in the East. So again, that's Central Standard Time, Wednesday nights, 8 to 9 p.m. So our first one's going to be this Wednesday, August 22nd from 8 to 9 p.m. Hope to see everybody there this week as we will be start our discussion on our nations. This week we're looking at the United States, Great Britain, and France in our live classroom, so it should be a great topic this week. So this week, guys, we are starting our discussion on our countries. Our paper this week is going to be on France. It is going to be called the French Questions, and it's going to give you a series of about 5 questions to answer. Now, it tells you guys to do it in a brochure form, if you say that 3 times. But what I want you guys to do, you can do it either as a paper or a brochure. I will take either one of them. What I want you guys to make sure of, you're answering all the questions. Historically, when I've taught the class, I've had students do really well in drafting like a main section on the de Gaulle question and not really hitting the foreign policy or the elite question very well. So make sure, guys, you're answering all 5 questions completely and examining what the question is asking you for all 5 of those questions. So our French question paper is a very interesting paper, guys. Remember, you can submit it either as a brochure or as a paper format. I will take either or. In our topics this week, guys, very interesting. I've put on our current events. In our announcement section, you have 2 postings. You have a historical overview, which you can read on the United States, Great Britain, and France, and also have a video overview. So there's some great videos on each one of the nations as well, too. If you want to click on some of those and watch them, it'll give you overviews of the governments, how they operate, how they work. So you get some great resources this week in our announcement section. And also, guys, this week we're going to examine how the nations differ and how they are similar to each other. So again, I was talking about last week. We're going to start with the United States. So we're going to get a basic civics lesson again on American government as we start this week. And I always get the question asked, why do we cover the United States in the comparative politics class? I was hoping to learn about more countries from around the world. And we start with the United States because we want to have a point of reference. We want to know a review of our government, make sure we understand federalism, the 3 branches of government, separation of powers, checks and balances, the historical nature of the United States in terms of the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, looking at some of our developments over time, the regulatory development of the bureaucracy in the United States, and the political party system in the U.S. And then we want to take that knowledge, which we're going to refresh in our brains, and then look and see how it compares to other nations we'll be looking at. How is Great Britain's government similar to the United States? How is it different from the United States? They have a parliament. They have a prime minister, not a president. France, as we'll look at this week, has a president, and they also have a prime minister, so they have both offices. And how does that work? So it's an interesting discussion, guys. We're starting with us, and then we'll be comparing it to 2 of our closest allies in Great Britain and France, and understanding how Western European governments operate and how they are similar and different than the U.S. We'll be looking at socialism a little bit because European socialism, they do have more government ownership and coverage of more things than we do here in the U.S. And we'll also look at socialism from an economic aspect about how these nations are able to afford it or not afford it, and what issues we have in providing the services by governments and at that high of a level. It's interesting because most people think that we are a very big government here in the U.S. We're big in size because of the large size of of our nation, but in terms of what we provide, we don't nearly provide as much as the European nations do. So we are much more of a conservative nation than most people give us credit for. In terms of government does not provide as much as what we'll see in Great Britain and France as we compare those this week. So get caught up on the readings, guys. Read the chapter. See everybody on Wednesday night for our live classroom. If you need anything, remember to text, phone, or email me, and I'll respond to you guys as quickly as possible. And have a great week, guys.